Hello and welcome to Red Stain Radio, a Dead by Daylight podcast, and I'm one of your hosts, Maddie, and I'm joined by my two wonderful co-hosts, Stevie and Bryson. Hi guys.
Hello.
Greetings.
Hello.
I'm full of rage from
Oh.
last week's episode.
Anger.
I'm kidding. I'm
Wow.
not. Did you listen to last week's episode, Maddie, at all? I
Not
was
yet,
curious.
not yet.
Oh, it's a banger.
I
That
have
was
to check it out.
a
I
real
have to
fun
check
time.
it out.
It was really good. I also want to say we will do it again,
Ooh.
ideally with all three of us here. And like some socials like really popped off. Like especially over on Instagram, like thousands of views, lots of engagement, like crazy.
Oh.
People had
Were
lots of thoughts.
Were we not clip farming, Bryson? Tell me.
We were.
Tell me that now.
We were. And they turned out really good. But people really had
Thank
thoughts
you.
about like the night and Chaos Shuffle and all sorts of other stuff. So I don't know if you, Maddie, when you listen to it, night players are lazy. Just FYI.
No
Anyway.
way. No, no. I'm not saying that.
Sorry.
Okay, I'm saying because I'm biased, but no.
Sorry for the tangent.
What?
But
That's crazy.
I'm not full of rage. I have wine now, so I'm okay.
Oh, there we go. There we go. Wine night. Wine night.
Yeah.
I can
Wine
smell
night.
the red. I can
night
smell the
has
red
wine
on your
during
breath,
night.
Bryson.
Dead by Daylight. Am I right? Ah!
Oh,
Wine by
spin
daylight.
bars.
Yeah. Okay. This is episode 58. Yeah, 58. And we're giving our impressions on the course of Sin PTB, which features the Judgement and Aurora Star Daughter. Please tell me I said that right.
Yeah,
And
you did.
with,
It's just like
More
daughter.
on that
like,
later.
Like daughter of the
Daughter of
stars.
Stars.
If you don't catch that, it's like Anderson is like when you want like a character to be named like the son of the guy, you name him Anderson.
Yeah. I'm
But
sorry.
like Star Daughter, she's the daughter of the stars. It's cute.
But it's not spelled that way. It's daughter as in like you're dotting.
No, it's not. It is spelled
Like-
like you're dotting, and stars are like dots. So it's like
Yeah.
a double entendre. But like it sounds like daughter. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yes.
So
It
that's
sounds-
how you would do it.
It sounds a bit corny
Like,
to
but
me.
like back when,
Yeah.
but back when last names were like that. Back when last names were like you were named the son of the Smith. You were named Smithson.
Yes.
Yeah, true.
Listen.
Like
That's a
you
good
were
way of
also
putting it.
named the Smith's daughter.
Hmm.
Yes. We also have some balance changes in this PTB that we're going to be giving our thoughts on, along with the characters and their perks, and just kind of our overall impressions. And of course, I'm going to be giving my guaranteed, trademarked, if these perks were students in my class and they were giving a presentation, but we're going to save that till the end. Moving on from
Ooh.
that, we have a quick little review from someone on Apple. Bryson, could you please tell us about this review? Ooh.
We do. So first of all, folks, if you are listening to us on Apple, you can leave us a review, a written review, and Hex Cozy Gamer left us a review last week or last few days or something. And here it goes. My favorite pod ever. Amazing hosts, fun topics, really underrated, fun to play, DVD, and listen to at the same time. So Hex Cozy
Ooh.
Gamer likes to play and listen to Red Stain Radio and DVD at the same time, which is really cool. I wonder if you're playing Killer or if you're like playing Killer and vibing out, or if you're playing Survivor and like locked in. I'm curious
Maybe it's a
how
bit of
well
both.
you do.
Maybe it's a
Yeah,
bit of
maybe.
both. Yeah.
But thank you for the review. That's really kind of you.
Thank you so much.
It's sweet. I'm thinking it has to be Survivor. They have to play Survivor.
Yeah. Unless you're
Hex
playing like
Cozy Gamer.
Kira, and then it's like whatever. Before we actually get into the contents of this episode, yet again, another segue, we've got some news. That is specifically, it's Into the Rainbow time. If you don't know, this is an event that Dead by Daylight has every single year for the last 6 years, where for about 1 or 2 weeks, they celebrate Pride, and they celebrate Pride creators and the characters in the game who are LGBTQ+. With this, it's going to be running from July 28th to August 10th, and you can watch DVD content creators on Twitch from all around the world and celebrate Pride by earning in-game rewards. I believe right now, if you watch any affiliated Twitch streamer that is doing the Into the Rainbow program, if you watch them for at least 2 hours, you get 3 banners: Pride David, Pride Orella, and Pride Susie, and it's very cute. If you really want those Pride banners, go watch some content creators, go support Pride. Please do that. Loves and kisses. Additionally, if you're not really into the whole watching people stream, don't worry. Every couple of days, we're actually getting some codes for some Pride-related equipment. Specifically, there are 2 right now, which is the rainbow flashlight, the Pride flashlight charm, which if you use the code Rainbow Bright, it's uppercase R, uppercase B. And there's also another one for 100,000 blood points, which all you have to type in is Into the Rainbow, all caps, and then 2026. There's also one more, which I believe is for a toolbox charm, but I do not remember the code because it was revealed
That one's out. That one's
very
out.
recently.
Yeah, it's out now. You could look it up really quickly.
Yeah,
Also, codes are not case sensitive, so you can just put them in lowercase as well.
Oh, I thought they were case sensitive.
And they're all platforms. You can do them console, PC, and you're probably going to find a 4th or 5th one if you're listening to this episode a little late.
Exactly.
But if you're too late,
yes.
they'll probably come back. These type of charms come back, so don't worry if you miss them this year.
Yeah. Additionally, we also have a new skin for Rick, which transforms him from Rick to Glenn from The Walking Dead. It's a legendary skin out now. So if you're a big fan of Glenn and his character and his love of Maggie, I highly recommend that you go get it. He also has a lot of voice lines and does not look chopped. He looks amazing, just like the actor. We love to see it.
Does Stephen Ewan voice him?
I don't think so.
Ooh,
I believe it's just
that's a bummer. That's a bummer.
Yeah.
Because
honestly,
he's
with
a
The
great
Walking
voice
Dead,
actor.
I always go in thinking it's not going to be one of the original voice actors just because they're so hard to come by because they're busy. They've got work. They've got bigger things than them.
He's been busy with Invincible, so.
Exactly. Additionally, there's also the summer event in full swing. You probably already know about this. Maybe you played first week, which was Chaos Shuffle. Well, that game mode is out, and we actually have a revamped one from an event that hasn't come back in a long time, that being Lights Out, which is basically the entire map is pitch black except for a little area around you, and you have to go get lanterns to light up your way and avoid the killer, who's also somewhat blinded. So if you want to have a little bit of a spook, go play that, because after that is 2v8. So if you want to get your 1v4 #gamer hours in there, I highly recommend go play some Lights Out. Very fun. Do recommend. And you don't have to worry about perks. No perks at all. So just get in there. Get in there! One more thing that I really wanted to mention is that there's a surprise community stream actually happening on August 20th. I won't say expect too much. This is probably just going to be talking about the upcoming release of Chorus of Sin, which comes out on August 25th. Probably a little bit of balancing and how the Grimoire chapter came to be. So don't expect too much, but it was recently added. Like, it wasn't originally there in the roadmap, but did get added post roadmap reveal. So keep that in mind.
This may also be because they did mention we were going to have another community stream about the graphics update for next year. They said it was going to come out in the coming months, so this might be it. But yeah, it's probably just the Grimoire stuff and maybe some 2v8 updates. We'll see. There's been a few leaks about that, but I won't spoil that here. Yeah, looking forward to it.
Yes. And with that, that's all the DBD news I had. Are you guys ready to get into the Chorus of Sin PTB?
Let's do it.
Oh my god, yes.
Exile me.
Okay. Well, before we actually talk about that, I know. I always say but before we do that. We actually had a unique situation with this chapter where some content creators were actually given some permission to play the PTB early, about 3-5 days, I believe, or maybe it was a week, but they got to play with other content creators and a few lucky people who got codes via Twitch drop and just got to play out the killer and the new perks. And I just want to ask, what did we think about this? Do we think this was healthy, a good thing for future PTBs, or something you don't want to see again?
It was kind of cute.
Yeah.
I don't think it was like it lasted long enough to matter. You know what I mean? It was like 24 hours of if you got lucky and you also were on PC and also interested. Like if all these stars aligned, you could be someone playing the PTB 24 hours early. I mean, against who? I mean, like Ottstarva or whatever. Like, I think it was a concession that like they needed to be able to pad the streamers' games out a little bit, but they didn't like know how to do that. So they just said, give the streamers community free access without like a bias, like with codes. But I don't think that scatter shot really helped much. It was cute. It was an attempt. Didn't do much. But now it's in our hands. I don't know how much anyone around here knew that it was coming out early or that it was a drop. But
yeah, I heard about the drop a little early
because it was a drop for a raffle entry, and then you had to win the raffle, which was a little weird.
Oh, wow. So even like more restricted than I thought it was.
Exactly. Like it wasn't like, oh, if you just watched the Twitch stream and you got in, you had to get lucky of like beating everyone else on a raffle, which makes sense. You probably didn't want a whole lot of people dropping in like a couple days earlier than you attended, so I kind of get that. Bryson, you said it was weird. Any more thoughts on that?
Well, it's a public test build, right? So
yeah,
early access to a public test build doesn't kind of goes against the reason it's built, right? Like it also, again, we're doing FOMO here. FOMO is a horrible marketing tactic that we all hate. At least I do. Early access in video games, like, oh, they set a release date, or like this game comes like Halloween the game releases this day, but if you get the digital deluxe edition for $70 or whatever, you get it 5 days early. Like that's just kind of scummy. Like I get it. Like streamers, I get it. You need them to test it early. You know, you have drops going, that synergy makes. But then when it comes to like the public, I just felt weird. Like I was like, what are we doing?
Yeah. I should mention this isn't the first time they've done this. This is the second time. I believe the first time was with Jason, where it was the whole year 10 anniversary. They did that fairly early. I think it was a week or two instead. So not the first time, but if this is something new they're doing, it's going to be interesting. I'll say that. Interesting. All right. With that said, we can now finally, for reals this time, actually talk about the PTB. First things first, we have a new killer, and their name is the Judgment. They have no lore whatsoever along with Aurora. The lore is like zilch. It's not in there yet, but it probably will be there in launch. So we know basically nothing about them. So instead, let's talk about their kit. So the Judgment's power is called the Will of the Gods, and it's divided into 4 parts. Number 1 is Divine Light, and this is the one that you probably know the most. This is her laser beam. Specifically, holding down your ability button summons a pillar of light for 3 seconds. You can move your camera left and right to guide it, which is slowed if it passes through an object, and when you let go of this button, and after a brief delay, it will sort of activate and send out in the direction that it was last aimed at, damaging any survivors it passes and applying heresy. We're going to be talking about heresy in a little bit, but all you have to know is heresy is the blue and white circle around your character's icon and head. Additionally, the longer Divine Light is controlled, the shorter the cast delay is, and the longer the cast duration is. So if you see people like going all the way behind them and then flinging it forward, it's because whereas if you just do it in front of you, you're not going to get that instant hit, where if you do the yo-yo kind of tech, you are going to hit them instantly. This has a cooldown of 6 seconds. Now, power number 2, Zealous. If you send a survivor to exile, aka they have the heresy and you press the button after they're downed, you will become Zealous. Survivors will gain a hook state or be killed if it's their final hook state. Additionally, if this is them in their heresy state and they are downed and they're on death hook, you can do a mini Mori. Moving on from that, when you exile a heretic, for the 2 closest shrines will become active and you'll enter the Zealous state for 60 seconds. This will allow you to gain Killer Instinct on heretics for 3 seconds and only full heretics. Heretics are survivors with a blue-white circle that hasn't decayed at all. And there's only one way to decay it, but we're going to talk about that later. There's a lot of we're going to be talking about that later. While you are Zealous, your Divine Light's size increases by 10, so it gets 10% bigger. Additionally, you decrease Divine Light's cooldown by 20 seconds and can maintain the control of Divine Light for 0.3 seconds longer. Power number 3, Exile. Exile acts like a hook state, but does not activate any hook-based perks, both for Survivor and Killer. So, Deliverance, Decisive Strike, Pain Resonance, any Scourge Hook perk basically does not activate whatsoever. Survivors who enter Exile will gain a new item called a Searcher's Pendant. Exiled is filled with 2 things: Dangerous Seeds of Punishment, which are the Reigning Pillars, that spawn after a small animation, which reduces a survivor's sacrifice timer by 1 second if hit. The other thing inside the Exile are Exiled Souls, which are the floating heads. Holding the Use Item button of your Searcher's Pendant, and 2 for PC, to point at these sort of creatures will cause them to be collected. And for each one you can collect, up to 10, it will grant you 0.5 seconds added to your unhook protections, which is your haste, your endurance, and your elusive. So you can go from 10 seconds of that to 15 seconds. Additionally, exiled souls no longer grant additional protections once all generators are completed. So if you're in the end game, collecting souls does nothing. So you just want to be running around if you're in exile and you're got all the gens done. The final thing is that survivors who aren't in exile can pray at an active shrine of judgment, which are highlighted in red to rescue exiled survivors. And these shrines show up all across the map. We are in the final part of power. Power number 4, Heresy. Heresy is gained when hit by Divine Light or by taunting the Judgment, which is crouching repeatedly, gesturing, or lingering in the exit gates. Just leave. ... as said in the patch notes, which I just wanted to say. Heretics suffer from special skill checks while repairing generators, where good skill checks will result in the generator losing some amount of progress, whereas a great skill check will grant no progress, extra progress.
Old Ruin.
Yes, it's Old Ruin. So if you've ever dealt with Old Ruin back in like 2018, that's it. Additionally, heretics can repent at a Shrine of Judgment to begin depleting their heresy over time. And it can be any shrine. There, that is the power. So, thoughts on that? It was kind of a doozy.
Meanwhile, Trapper has to collect his traps, can only hold 2, and can step in them.
But Trapper ain't that big. He's just a man.
Yeah, well,
I do like this. This brings a lot to the table, but I will say straight up, like, not a lot of it is like what a DBD kit would be called oppressive. Like, because Trapper can't do much, he's not oppressive. But like somebody like Huntress, she doesn't do much, but she can be oppressive if she camps and just kind of looks at you. Somebody like Henry is very complex and very oppressive. Nurse is a little simple, but very oppressive. This Judgment character is very complex, only a little oppressive, which is interesting. It's not a lot of payoff for how hard it is, but it also is like a handful of rewarding mechanics that you can be juggling to make things slightly easier. But I'm so curious to see numbers on this stuff. I'm a nerd about things like what would be the max distance on the default power charge, because it feels like her power charges in 1 second. You get the power ready, the beam of light activates, and then after another second, maybe less, it travels its full distance, and then you can't like do anything but let go of it after that, or it fizzles out. So I'm curious to see these little numbers, like what is the fizzle time? What is the cooldown after you miss? What is the amount that it gets sped up by if you charge it all the way? There's these little tiny numbers that change things. It makes me feel like it's a hillbilly mixed with Houndmaster, but you're also as tall as Plague and you get enraged. And then there's Exile. It's too much. It's too much to simplify.
Yeah. Like, she's very much her own thing. She's not really like a repeat of Upper Killers. Like there's tiny little pieces of it, but she's very much her own thing. Like, a lot of people, when Jason came out, was like, oh, it's just Springtrap. Or when Dracula came out, people were like, oh, it's Pinhead and Spirit's baby. And also a bit of Demogorgon. No, this is like her own thing. She is her own killer, and I really appreciate that. I also like how she's really complex. Like, we all played the PTB. We even played a bit together. And it was very interesting because she's both very hard to play as, but also kind of hard to play against. Now, not to stroke my own ego, I didn't have much trouble going against her, but I know some people, it's basically fighting a war, like, all on your own, because she's spamming all these pillars of light, and you're like, what the fuck is going on? What's going on? So
you can very kind of dodge erratically, but you can also dodge intentionally. So it's
gonna be a mind game killer.
Very much mind game killer.
And I would say the Divine Light, I did play as her one game, and oh my god, it's so tough to aim and get right. Like, and I saw a really good TikTok which I should share, but it's like 3 different ways to shoot the light. There's like a slingshot method, there's a cross method, and then there's some other method, but all of them have varying difficulties and ways to hit, and they're all coming from different directions, but very much a mind game killer. Although I don't think the lights are coming at me as much as, say, Henry's M2, where he's like putting the thing like that, he spams constantly. Yeah. Whereas I didn't think the light was felt like I was being spammed, and maybe that's partly because there's a charge up time that is a little longer than Henry's little M2s. But yeah, really fun to dodge. The sound of it coming at you is fucking scary.
It's so good. It's so good.
The skittering noise of her legs coming at you, like you hear like I was like, oh my god, it's like terrifying. Very cool. I think this power is going to be fun to play against. I don't know if we're going to see a lot of Judgment mains, though. I think this will be if she stays in this state and they don't really make that Divine Light easier to, I guess, get hits with, I don't know, like aim, something like that. I don't think this killer is going to be played much which is funny because it is a community voted chapter. The community voted for this, and very few people are going to have the capability or the patience to learn her. And I think one, that's kind of cool and unique, and we kind of, we made our bed, we're gonna lay in it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and then two, it's gonna suck because we're never gonna see her, kind of like Houndmaster or anything. So I think those parts are interesting. I think visually, another thing, her chase music and just the kind of ambiance, the different layers of her chase music, peak. So good. Like orchestral violins going on. Just really, really fun. Good. Like the sound design is great on this killer. Visually, in terms of like colors and textures, my vote's here lost. So this is, of course, I'm being biased here. I think she just looks like she was vomited on with like, I mentioned we were playing the PTB. Like it feels like a Monster Energy truck hauling a bunch of different colors of Monster Energy just spilled over onto her. And you have all these like chemical, like if you go through her cosmetics, they're like neon green, neon pink. There's like yellows and blues. I'm just like, ugh, it looks awful. Like I think she looks like texturally, she also looks a little bit, I keep saying it looks a little bit more feminine than I think I would like it to be. I wish it was more androgynous, which earlier concepts, that was the case. Now they've kind of, they've maybe pulled out her chest a little bit more. So, I mean, it's quite there. So I don't know, but I think overall, very cool killer, very cool concept. That beam of light though, just crazy cool. That orbital beam, just really tough to hit.
Yeah.
It feels like you're not seeing when you don't see it coming and you just get hit or knocked down out of nowhere. It doesn't feel like bullshit either. Like you're aware of how like anytime you could be in a chase, they're missing 3 or 4. That 6th one is coming to get you when you're not expecting it. You got down on a gen, you forgot to heal. Maybe you're trying to greet it, and that's the issue. You tried to greet it. And bingo bango, they had gearhead, or they had some aura reading, or they had surveillance, or whatever the heck. This is a killer that catches you blind because you were so far away you thought you were safe. It's interesting. It inverts a little bit of the like a chase has to happen close by. Like DBD is usually about like you're safe if you don't hear the trapper's heartbeat. That's something you can kind of rely on, but not against the Judgment. If you don't hear the heartbeat, you still kind of have to be looking out for the giant crab lady. But like that's your benefit. You have to look for the giant crab lady. Keep your eyes on her. Keep your eyes on the giant Pima light.
It is, and it is easy to see her across map. She's very large. She's got, it has huge wings. I keep saying she. I'm gonna keep doing that, but I think apologize.
Any pronouns are fine for this thing that has come to kill us. It's okay.
It's kind of like Unknown, where it's like it has so many different identities. It can
so many cosmetics too, like the grandma cosmetic,
right? Because there's so much going on, but you're fine.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The beam of light is really cool. Like when I was getting hit with it, I was like, oh, that's on me. I didn't consider where it might be coming from, and I didn't anticipate correctly where it was coming from. So again, very much I'd say less oppressive than Nurse, but still very cool to play against. And I just didn't feel, again, very early stages. I only played like an hour and a half. We're not really sure how this is going to be down the line when someone has thousands of hours in this character, hundreds of hours. That's going to look totally different. And the techs, if you will be really interesting. But I'm excited to see the character come to main and really play against them a lot. However, again, I don't think I think a lot of people are going to bounce off this character, especially console players, because flicking that beam of light from like behind me and then directly in front of me,
I can't imagine.
it's tough. Like I was like, oh, I was like looking down the ground. I'm like, okay, I need to keep my head up so I can see around me correctly. And I'm not always looking down at the ground. Like there's going to be a lot of magic stuff you're going to do on the controller. I don't know, maybe adopt a PC if you get a chance. Although PC market's kind of rough right now, so crazy. I apologize.
Yeah. Maybe a set of add-ons exists that makes it so like the controller experience is a little more responsive.
There are special settings. Go ahead, Maddie.
You can do.
I would say there are special settings, which we have later in the notes, but let me scroll down and look at them really quickly. That add the Judgment's Divine Light control settings. There's sensitivity settings exclusive to the Judgment. So if you load in, go to your sensitivity settings, and they're specifically there for the Judgment, and they can be found under General Settings tab under Beta, and then Judgment control settings. So you can adjust that to what you want. Find the right sensitivity for you. For most PC players, usually a lower sensitivity is where you want to be. But of course, everyone is different. And then on console, you're going to be different as well. So play around with it, see what it is, and play against bots. Because I was playing against bots, and goddamn, they were juking me left and right. Like, it was crazy.
Yes. I will also add there's, I believe, 2 add-ons that make it so when your beam passes through an object, it's slowed by 99%, which basically just stops it. And that can really help some people, I believe. That is easier to aim. So I believe it's a brown and a blue add-on that, like, when your beam gets on an object, it basically just traps it. I would recommend using that, maybe, trying that out. It's going to be different when you eventually take off those add-ons, but it's good, like, training shoes or, like, the little extra wheels on, like, a bicycle, making it a tricycle.
Mm-hmm. There's also a ping pong add-on where if it hits up to 2 objects, I think, it, like, ping pongs off of them, which I think should be base kit. I think that would be really funny. Although
it might be a bit too much.
Leaving these things to brown add-ons is fine.
Yeah,
because you hit level 50 and you're swimming in like 30 of them.
Oh yeah,
I will say she is also okay. There's a lot of fun to say about the killer, and one thing I want to say since we're talking about add-ons, I feel like her add-on design is so good, and they're all seemingly
really good,
at least on first glance powerful, which makes me happy. Because I feel like a lot of problems with newer killers is that they'll have, like, when you use your power and hit somebody, they gain blindness. And then another one's like, you gain exhaustion. Then you gain mangled.
This is a problem with older killers you're describing.
Yeah. It's like,
and this is an issue where they used to have the person who made the killer made the add-ons.
Mm-hmm.
And now they have the person who makes the killer sends off the killer to somebody else who makes the add-ons. Yeah. And you hear through the streams, they're genuinely thankful that they just have more brains working on these types of things. And it shows in the add-ons. It shows when you have like a fresh mindset coming at it who can watch like over the shoulder and who doesn't have to worry about juggling 2 different things. Oh, how do I balance this for add-ons later? You can just say, oh, fuck it. Let the other guy do it.
Mm-hmm. But I'm really happy with her add-on design. It's really good. And just to give my final thoughts on her before we move on to our perks, I really like her gameplay. I really like there's a killer that's not for everyone. She's very complex, very different, and I think that's okay. I do think her skill floor, which is really high, can be lowered down a bit. I feel like she's a bit too complex. I feel like one person that I saw online, I can't remember who it was, but they gave the suggestion that if you do immediately press your power on top of somebody, it should be like the unknown, where if you hit someone with your ball, it gives them a bit of hindered. Maybe placing your pillar directly on top of someone, not damaging them or playing any heresy, could, like, maybe give them blindness for a few seconds. Like, a tiny little bit of hindered. Not, like, a whole lot of hindered, like 2%. Or even give them, like, a fourth of, like, heresy. I feel like that would be balanced. Just, like, to make it a bit more forgiving if you missed your beams. Like, ow, I hit them, but it didn't really count because it hadn't, like, charged up. So this is, like, a nice trade-off, in my opinion. Additionally, I do like her design, but I also kind of hate it, which I feel mean to say. Because there are parts I really like, but I feel like the way all of it came together,
let's speak to that.
It feels kind of messy, if that makes sense.
Are you talking about her visual design?
Yeah,
or
her
kit?
visual design.
Okay.
Like her model, her appearance. Like, I like parts of it, but I feel like they try to do too many things. I feel like that was for the worse, in my opinion.
It looks like almost thousands of people voted on it. Thousands of voices had their say in it. That's how I feel about,
I really like this killer, and I really, really, really hope that during that Diablo collab, she gets a skin, whether it be an angel or a demon, because I would be buying it day one. Because
can you imagine the community cosmetics that are going to be submitted for this killer?
Oh my god!
Next year,
we
didn't get any this year, but next year they're going to be.
It's coming.
I've already seen a few floating around. Like some people have already done theirs. Like I'm looking forward to that.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited. But we're going to be moving on from her. We're going to be moving on to her perks, though. She comes with 3 perks, that being Celestial Witness, Hex Under Your Thumb, and Lay Waste. Let's start with Celestial Witness. Every 30 seconds, if the obsession is at least 40 meters away from you, you see their auras for 2.5, 3 seconds. Otherwise, the farthest survivor becomes the obsession. Fairly simple. On its own, kind of dookie buns. And for most killers, you're not going to see a lot of value. However, I do think this is going to be a really fun perk to like combine with and make builds around, especially if you're doing like a full aura reading build as like Nurse. I feel like that's going to eat up.
You could run it with like a Nemesis or that Xeno perk where you see the is it the obsession or you see the furthest injured survivor? I don't remember that one. That's like the
furthest injured
perk,
is Alien Instinct.
Yeah,
but I'm also considering something as simple as save the best for last, or they will wait, as it is now.
They will wait.
Like imagine that you're just in a chase with somebody and they happen to be your obsession. You can't find anyone else. You don't want to waste 2 stacks. How about you just wait 15 more seconds and then the furthest away survivor turns into the obsession.
I like that.
And then now you can hit that guy or you can kill them and then keep getting stacks because now your dying light isn't turned off. This is an interesting one if you know how to juggle obsessions and you're running an obsession build.
Yes.
But I don't see it working for something like a Rancor, which is like the other part of obsession builds.
Yeah. I will say, there is one perk this combos really well with, and I really hope people use this really more. It's Celestial Witness and Nemesis, because the first part of Nemesis, or the second part of Nemesis, I believe, is that whenever you gain a new obsession, they gain Oblivious for 30 seconds. So every time a new obsession enters the fray, you see their aura, they gain Oblivious, and so you're basically a stealth killer, and then you can go pick them off. Super fun. Highly recommend. It's kind of nasty.
Yeah, with an insta-down killer or like even on top of a stealth killer, you just pull them off that gen or something.
Yeah.
The hint of aura reading, the little sneak bit in the beginning, every 30 seconds, if the obsession's 40 meters. So your obsession won't change if the obsession stays far away from you. This kind of works with the Judgment itself because you get aura reading on someone 40 meters away. Maybe you did bring Nemesis and they're still oblivious. So you just send the beam right at the aura, you in the distance. Boom. It's a long range hit. It works well. It's a thematic perk. It works great with the killer. But I think there's something that could be better as far as builds for her go.
Yeah.
This perk itself, meh.
Yeah, but for other killers, maybe. Moving on from that, we have a Hex perk, which I feel like kind of got mega buffed from the time we've seen it. It's Hex Under Your Thumb, which reads the first time a survivor gains a hook state, a dull totem ignites. Whenever a running survivor gains haste within 32 meters of you, you are alerted. So that's where you get like the black bubble and you have a little bit of their outline. Additionally, when a survivor is running, they cannot gain more than 25, 10, or 25, 20, 15% haste at a time. So 15. This perk, it's kind of good. Is that kind of crazy to say? Niche, yes.
It's probably her best perk.
Dare I say,
it's probably the best perk of these 3.
Or it's tied at least with Lay Waste.
So let's imagine haste that goes above 15%, right? We're thinking sprint burst, balance landing, lithe, adrenaline, maybe overcome just extends this like base. So it's
you do become
there's
exhausted.
Very specific things. But it's a speed limiter.
Yeah. And like when you're chasing somebody, you notice that speed down because it's not like, oh, they're getting faster. They're basically just walking, but like with a little more step. Like if someone uses life in front of you, they get like no distance whatsoever. They get like maybe 2 feet faster, and then that's it. It's so funny, and not gonna lie, I want to run it more. I want to run it in my builds. It's kind of funny, and like I do like the caveat that it's a hex perk, so it's not just punishing you for playing specific builds. for the survivors at least, but also it isn't immediately cleansed. It's not like, oh, I didn't even get value from it. You have to hook somebody. So there's that little bit at the beginning where it's protected. So love that.
Yeah, I think this being a hex perk really kind of brings it down, right? Like you can lose it pretty quickly if someone is on top of totems. So, but the activation caveat there is nice because when a ruin or things like that start at the beginning of the match. Yeah, third seal, undying as well, some others. It always sucks to hear them cleanse when you've not even rotated on the map yet. So it's kind of nice that they added that caveat.
Yes, and we're finally moving on to our last perk, which I actually think might be a little bit better than Under Your Thumb, or maybe on par with. We'll have to wait and see. That is Lay Waste, which is very simple. For this perk, it says that whenever you damage a generator, for each of its charges, it regresses 2% faster and has a cooldown of 55, 50, and 45 seconds. Now, this perk would be kind of dookie buns, in my opinion, if it said when you basic break a gen. But this is whenever you damage generator, period. So, Pain Resonance, Eruption, Surge, clock. All of those will activate Lay Waste. So that's why I'm kind of like, wait, this kind of has value.
Yeah, I saw some conversations about this, and I'm not a math whiz. So this perk is similar to Call of Brine, which is an Onryo perk. And that percentage is 150, right?
I think so. 150 or 200.
Changed a couple of times. On release, it was 200.
And they changed one more time further down our notes. We could just bring that up. Call of Brine now is going to be regressing 50% faster for 90 seconds. That's the same speed regression it's been for a little bit.
Okay.
But, they buffed the duration it is regressing.
Okay. Yeah, so some people did some math. I'm not a whiz
I want to
here.
see the graphs. I want to see the math.
Yeah,
I'm numbers. I'm all into numbers.
Apparently for Lay Waste to have value, it has to have a certain amount of charges on it for it to be equivalent or greater than Call of Brine. And I think it was like upwards of like 50, 70-ish charges or something, like up where it's almost completed area. Again, I don't remember. I'm not a math guy. So, but yeah, this sounds really interesting. It is cool that it is anytime you damage a generator. Lots of perks can synergize with this. I think we'll see this quite a bit as well. I did not see the Call of Brine change. I'll scroll down and see that, but I didn't know that got updated either.
Yes. Alrighty, before I move on the perks, any final thoughts that I want to give? Because I have a few final thoughts I want to give.
Spill it.
Yeah, go for it.
Get it all on the table.
So, if these perks were in a class and they were giving me a presentation on their Celestial Witness would be kind of like there, like he would just be in the back doing his part. Very average, but you can tell that with his peers in his class, he's going to be getting there. He's going to be doing a whole lot better than he really is. Hex Under Your Thumb, he's kind of like the star student, the one that you didn't really have much faith in, but then like a few weeks later, he got like an A on your test, and now he's absolutely slaying the presentation. So you're like, okay, we get it. Yes, Under Your Thumb, you get an A+. And Lay Waste, they have mixed potential where it's kind of like they could be good, they could be bad. In the presentation themselves, they do their part, but you can tell they might have a little something special hiding within them. But for the most part, solid B. So, with that all said, this presentation gets B+. B+. Thank you, kids.
I love it, Maddie. I love it. Do you want to see the dark, twisted future of these children?
We need to do a segment like Maddie's, I don't know, something about anytime we do a chapter review and impressions PTB.
Maddie's classroom. All right,
with new perks. Yeah. We'll do a little bit there. Yeah, that'd be good.
That'd be great.
Alrighty, moving on to our second character that we got released with Chorus of Sin PTB. That would be Aurora Star Daughter, which, first off, we gotta talk about that last name. Star Daughter. It's giving Smithson.
Exactly. But it feels like fake Norse.
It does feel like fake Norse. Like, someone's like, this is I don't want to say, never mind.
It's giving like really poorly written young adult fiction.
Yes, that's what it's
giving. That's what I'm getting.
Yes.
She's my God of War OC. What are you talking about?
Yeah, this is Source Order.
Like a Hunger Games fantasy spinoff, and this is the main character. That's what it's giving.
Yes.
She's the granny that we all voted for in the Grimoire. We don't really know much about her, like the Judgment. We have no lore yet, so we have to wait for release. But she's got a really sick scar that you can see on one of her cosmetics across her chest. And she has seemingly beef with the Judgment. Maybe she used to follow her, but was like, wait, maybe not anymore. Or maybe she was like a rebellious fighter who like low-key hated her guts. We don't know. Toxic Yuri even. But we're not going to be talking about that yet. We're going to be talking about her perks, because that's all new survivors really are. They're perks. She has 3 perks, that being Through to Your Labor, Salvation's Cry, and Boon Steadfast, a new boon. We haven't had one since, I want to say, Alan Wake, so big in the boon business. Big in the boon business. First perk is Fruits of Your Labor. Whenever a generator is completed, you earn a token. Whenever you finish repairing a generator, for each token, you gain 5% haste for 2 seconds, and you gain 10, 15, 20% healing progress. So, at the end of the game, if you do a generator, it's basically adrenaline. 100% healing progress, and you gain 5% haste for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 seconds. Why did I have to count?
Well, that's if you finish those gens. You have to be...
Yes.
Oh no! Actually, you get a token for all the other gens.
But if you want that second effect of the healing progress and the haste, you have to be the one of the people completing that gen. Yeah,
I ran this in the BTB. I could not get value out of this. I don't know. Again, I wasn't injured much because the killers were all trying to learn a new killer with a very high skill floor. But so maybe that was it. But I want to run this in live with resilience. I think that might be worthwhile. Mm-hmm. You know, maybe you could 50% yourself or 99% yourself. You get the bonus speed from resilience, and then you could get healed up at the end of the gen. But that'd be kind of nice. But yeah, this perk is fine.
Yeah. It's very middle of the road. Very middle of the road. And I don't think we have any more thoughts on that. Stevie, any thoughts on this?
No. Her perks are a little out there in that we kind of... It's our fault. We made the sandwich.
We did make the sandwich. Let's talk about
the Subway Killer and Survivor tastes bad. We're the ones who made it. Who do we blame?
Yeah, all right. Next perk is Salvation's Cry. Whenever the killer starts chasing you, you see the aura of other survivors for 1, 2, 3 seconds. Survivors not being chased see your aura for 5 seconds. And survivors not being chased see the killer's aura for 5 seconds. So basically, whenever the killer starts chasing you, everyone gets to see everyone's auras. Except for the killer. They don't see anything. But your teammates, teammates and you get to see each other and the killer. And I think this perk is actually a little busted because specifically it doesn't have a cooldown. If you leave chase, like if you're in chase and you do a shift tech and then you start a new chase, the perk reactivates. Or if the killer's like looking back and forth away from you, you can potentially activate this like 5 times. It's a little powerful, I think. Like, obviously, aura reading at the end of the day is really situational of where you get that value. Though I do think there should be a cooldown of at least 15 seconds, I think. Because I feel like getting this basically whenever the killer starts chasing you and you can break it so easily, it definitely can be abused a bit. It can definitely be abused a bit.
Yeah, like you throw a God Palette and you get distance and you get out of chase and then it reactivates when they catch up to you.
Exactly.
Yeah, I saw this activate a bunch in a couple of our games. I was like, why am I seeing the killer aura all the time? It's like, oh yeah, because of Salvation's Cry. It's weird that it doesn't have a cooldown. Like, I don't know why it wouldn't.
I think what I'm thinking of this perk as in my head is like corrective action, but for chases.
Yeah.
If you get in a chase and the Dwight who was hovering around hears the heartbeat and gets scared and like hides near the pallet, and then you run to that pallet and he drops it and he gets hit from around the other side and goes down, it feels like your fault. But like if you bring this perk, Dwight gets the chance to see where you are, where you're coming from with the killer, and run the other way. Which is usually a skill that like you only get about like 1,200 hours into the game. So I feel like this perk kind of gives you your teammates kind of a leg up, where it's meant to be run alongside the friend who's still learning the game. So I think no cooldown is very helpful. So that way, like, even if they miss it once or twice and you are still holding that chase, you should still be getting value out of it.
Yeah.
I guess
I do see that.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying, I do see that. That's a valid
point
of view.
I was going to compare it to Windows. Like, Windows doesn't have a cooldown anymore. So I guess there's that. I think this will be very popular for solo queue survivors and newbies. Yeah, for sure.
Yes. Additionally, before we move on from Salvation's Cry, I do want to just quickly point out that specifically, I lost the train of thought. Never mind. We're moving on. Boon, Steadfast. Yes, we love boons. We haven't had one since Alan Wake.
Do we?
Yeah, we love them. Love boons? Come on.
Alan Wake's boon, Illumination, the goat.
Did you want another invocation? Tell me that. Tell me that now.
Okay, that's different.
Did 11 not have a boon? She did have a boon. She's got a crouch, right?
She had a boon in her name.
Yeah, boon you saw.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah. There you go.
Well, this boon is called Boon Steadfast. And what this perk does is that while you're next to a totem, you can use the E key to bless it, creating a unique boon totem that combines all your boons. Generators within the boon's range regress 50% slower, and survivors repair them 8, 9, 10% faster. Survivors within the boon's range see the auras of affected generators. Dare I say? Solid. Maybe even a little powerful. Do I think this is going to affect the meta? Not really. Do I think this is, like, solid? Yes. Yeah.
It's so situational. This perk will be great on indoor maps because you're probably going to get multiple gens in that boon. Most other maps, you're probably only going to get one affected gen the whole game. It's like, I don't know. I think you should just spend. I don't know if you're really behind on gens, maybe the boon, but like if you're doing okay, I think that time's putting up the boon is best spent on the generator, just to get out of there faster. But that's my opinion. Yeah, like,
it's not even an opinion. It's kind of quick math. Like if you are only hitting one generator and you are the one person working on that generator immediately after you've booned the totem, you've wasted time.
Yeah.
But you can counteract that by booning more than one generator in a radius. You're immediately kind of counteracting that negative time.
Or having someone else
look for these moments. Yeah, exactly. Don't do it carelessly, but always look for a moment where it would be worth it to boon 2 gens at the same time.
Yes. Because we also have to remember it makes gens progress 50% slower. So if it gets hit by pain res, it's going to be saving more than if it didn't have it. So there's that
very situational. Play it by ear, right? I do want to point out this is not what we voted on. This is not what won the vote.
I was going to save that for after we talked about the perks.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yes, because I do want to be talking about voting and what people wanted, because I do feel like there was a lot that got changed that we.
I think we might need to do an audit on the votes. Maybe that's an episode,
but we're not. We're going to talk about
the tax man.
We got to do to Maddie's class. So these 3 on our presentation. Specifically, we're going to be talking about fruits of your labor first. Honestly, this one, it's just copying another student. Is it doing it better? Situational. But overall, I'd say it's really obvious they're kind of plagiarizing. So for that alone, I want to give them an F, but like they're doing their best. Like they have their uses. And for that, they get a C. Salvation's Cry. This one, honestly, I kind of hyped up a bit, maybe too much. I was like, yes, you're my favorite student. But when I actually saw them in action and then hear what other people talked about them, I was like, okay, they're there and they're decent. B, Boon Steadfast. I really wanted to like this one. I really wanted people to be like, yeah, that's your star student. They're average Joe even. And for that, B minus. And with that, we're going to give them a final rating on their class presentation, B.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what this reminds me of? This, I don't know what the show it's called, maybe Dance Stars or whatever, but the clip or the sound you might hear is, people peeling off parts of a pyramid at the bottom of the pyramid. That's
my inspiration from. That's Dance Moms, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, Dance Moms. Okay. My sister used to watch. I wasn't sure what it was called. Yeah. At this week, you're at the bottom of the pyramid. This is what it reminds me of, and it's golden. We got to do this for future PTBs.
Okay, now I want to do a Dance Mom style pyramid, but we have to do that. Wait, new game idea. We do that. You have to guess what the theme is as I reveal cards.
Oh, that's
good.
I
love that.
Bottom of the pyramid. Good. Jake Park. Sorry, you could have done better. Could have done worse. Next.
Oh, that's good.
Kate Dunson. Not quite there, but you're doing all right. And of course, at the top of the pyramid, Claudette Morel.
And it works too when you have two characters, because you could have 3 perks at the bottom, 2 in the middle, and then 1 at the top. Like, you got your pyramid.
Well, that's perfect.
Well, moving on from that, let's talk about some final thoughts about the chapter itself before we get into gameplay updates, because there's quite a few. So, Chorus of Sin, with our 2 characters and their personal perks, what are our thoughts on this? Do we like it? Do we hate it? And yes, let's talk about that Grimoire vote too. So I'm going to pass the mic to Stevie first, and we're going to hear her thoughts, then Bryson's, then mine.
Like, if I woke up and I was like, knew nothing about what was coming, and this was the update, I'd be happy. I'd be ecstatic. This is perfect. I like a funky ranged killer. I like a character that kind of is imposing just on like size alone. But I think that there's room for the character to kind of just grow on cosmetics alone. Yeah. It's really odd. And I think that its perks are a meh point, and I think Aurora will kind of steal the show eventually. Just in the, the note of it is a lot more fun to play an older lady in a game where that is probably not seen very often, as compared to the super difficult to play and learn to play Angel Killer that is hard to play. It's a lot easier to enjoy, something more novel. I think Aurora will outlive the Judgment as far as, the fans are concerned, but I don't think it's as much a flop as it could have been. I just think people will be disappointed for a long time to come. Not me, though. I'm happy. I'm eating my buttery steak. I'm eating my lobster. Yeah. It's so juicy. Yeah. Waiter, so juicy. This is fantastic.
There you go.
Waiter, more Judgment, please.
The Grimoire chapter seems... I want to hold my thoughts until after it hits public, because it really we played 2-3 public matches, one the killer DC, which I totally get. The killer's tough to play, but I mean, don't DC the PTB.
That was the reason. We put that.
Yeah, you juiced them. You juiced them. That was awesome. But you're playing a PTB, you're probably gonna not do great with a new killer. Regardless, I want to hold my reservations, my thoughts, until after, because I think overall, great. I'm really excited to play in Publix. I don't want to even touch the PTB anymore. I just want it to come out, and I want to play it on release day, because I'm sure we'll have plenty of Judgments to play against. I just fear this killer is going to fall into the ether, and we're not going to see the Judgment much at all after 2 or 3 weeks. I just think it's that type of skill floor, like Nurse or Blight or things, or even other killers that maybe are a little buggy and people don't really gravitate towards, like Houndmaster and Skull Merchant. They don't really. Those 2 killers are a little different, but yeah, Krisu's strong, but that play style is really not enjoyable for a lot of people. It's really boring and stale. I think that is not the case with the Judgment. I think that play style is really interesting and cool. Yeah. And you have a very simple projectile in that once it hits you, you're injured. You don't have to weaken them and then injure them. But aiming that shit is tough, and that's really where people are going to fall off. And that's what I worry about for the Judgment. Really hope for better cosmetics, because right now it is I
like our cosmetics.
Some of them are good. Some of them I like, but I think it's just that Monster Energy truck just tipped over into Behavior's parking lot or something. Aurora is a baddie. I mean, they're both baddies, right? Yeah, they look amazing. Both great cosmetics. The voice acting for Aurora is a little jarring for me. She sounds older than what she looks, so that was a little jarring. I'm sure I'll get used to it after a little while, but she sounds great, and her perks are fine. Both their perks are fine. I think this overall is It's solid. We'll see how it is 2 weeks after release. Because I really don't think, I think this might be similar to what Stevie said, like maybe forgettable, Judgment mostly, but Aurora I think will stay a pillar for Survivors.
Yeah. Overall, my thoughts are kind of the same as you guys said. I feel like sadly the Judgment is probably going to go to hell in terms of pick rate, along with like the Artist, Houndmaster, Knight, just like very low pick rate. Like they're decent, but no one really wants to put in like complex thought work when they could play Ken Kaneki, aka the Ghoul, Blight, or even someone like Trapper. Like, why would someone do all that hard work when they can get the same results with something easier? And that makes me kind of sad. However, I do feel like they have a good impact in the way that it helped the community understand how a chapter is built through the grimoire, and also kind of having these really unique character designs with an older lady that we hadn't gotten before, and this very interesting take on an angel where it's almost kind of more cryptid like than angelic, and I really like that. There was a few complaints about her design, specifically her true form that she reveals during her Mori, which, by the way, her Mori, fire, literally, pun intended, ha ha ha. But I kind of like it that it's kind of like this creature, I suppose, because some interpretations I heard people say is that it's beaming knowledge into your head of things so complex it just causes you to burst into flames, which I really like. And also, people have been suggesting the other thing be like a black square or a giant bright light, and like I don't think that's personally a great idea. I like the creature, which also, by the way, if you're paying attention to some of the Grimoire key arts that we got like long before year 10 anniversary stream, it actually kind of teased what her true form was with that eyeball, so I thought that was kind of neat. Additionally, I do think Aurora is going to outlive the Judgment, sadly, and I am at least happy that we're getting more diversity in terms of survivors and like archetypes and like different demographics, and we get to see more of that in like the consensus of what people play. I love seeing all these different people, and I love how behavior interprets that and shows these cultures, these different beauties, and I don't know, I love it. I do want to say one more thing, which is about the Grimoire vote itself specifically, which some of the things that we voted for didn't end up happening the way we wanted, and that's totally understandable. Like, they tested out that beam ray that we voted for. People did not like it. It was very simple, very boring, so they made the giant pillar, and we fuck with the giant pillar. However, there were things that I did not like when we were voting for what type of perks that the character would get, not like the specific perk, but like the perk archetype, we chose boldness. What about her perks give boldness? When you complete a generator, your generators repair faster. When you're in chase, you show auras. Nothing about that gives like David King's Dead Hard. Nothing about that gives aggression or fighting back. That's literally just a mechanic. And for that, I have to put her at the bottom of the pyramid. No. But she's very much like objective based, and I don't really love that. I really wish they leaned more into her boldness side, but maybe they'll save that for maybe they'll save that for the casting of Frankstone chapter with the survivors when that comes out, hopefully. Additionally, I do want to also add her design. I mentioned this before. I kind of hope they add more that change her design a lot, because I'm not a big fan of the final concept. But like Bryson said specifically, this is what happens when you have thousands of people voting for a design. So yeah, that's my thoughts. Now, we gotta move on because we're almost an hour in, and we have 5 more pages of notes. Oh my god.
They're quick perks. They're not that deep.
Yes, it's general gameplay updates. Very simple. Whenever a survivor got unhooked, for 15 seconds they got endurance and haste. This has been reduced to 10 seconds. However, survivors now also gain elusive for 10 seconds. So they get 10% haste, 10 seconds of endurance, and 10 seconds of elusive. I'm so glad they did this, because elusive was literally fucking made for unhook protections, and then they didn't add it for like 4 months. So thank God they added that. Thank God. Another thing that they did a lot of perk changes. So we're going to go over them kind of quickly, but if one stands out that we really want to talk about, please just shout, "Ah!" and I'll stop. Without further ado, oh god, I have to sit up. We're going to go really, really fast. Killer perk updates! A nurse is calling within 28, 30, 32 meters of survivors who are healing or being killed. You see their auras. Reveals all survivors and healing interaction regardless of their health state. Dev note, there has been some confusion about the expected behavior with a nurse's calling. We felt it was a good opportunity to make it more consistent and clearer. Next perk, Call of Brine. Whenever you damage a generator, it regresses 30, 40, 50% faster for 90 seconds, was 70 seconds. For that time, whenever a survivor hits a good basic skill check while repairing that generator, you are alerted. Next perk, Colorophobia. Yeah, colorophobia. Survivors within your target radius heal 20, 25, and 30% slower, was 30, 40, 50% slower. While healing, basic skill checks spin 50% faster. Yeah, you heard that right. Colorophobia nerf in the grand old year of 2026. Blah. Dev note. Because we're buffing a nurse's calling back to its pre-9.2.0 state while keeping the range buff, we felt it was safer to adjust colorophobia at the same time to decrease its synergy with certain builds. Yeah, they fucking nerfed it. What the fuck?
Real quick, they nerfed it because they didn't want it to synergize with slugging builds.
Yes.
I don't know if this was the right choice. They should have changed it to where it did not affect people who are in the dying state and you were hitting them. Like, that's the change they should have made. Yeah. Hell, maybe even do both those changes and revert this. I don't know, but I don't think this change was right.
Yes.
The reason is right, but not the change. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. Hex Thrill of the Hunt. Whenever the trial starts, a dual totem ignites. For each dual and hex totem remaining, you have a token. For each token, survivors bless and cleanse totems 8, 9, 10% slower, was 8, 10, 12. Dev note, Hex Thrill of the Hunt has excelled at defending totem builds in recent patches. We're slightly lowering its efficiency while reviewing the perk in the log term. This is getting reworked. This has been confirmed. Keep them waiting. Another perk. Whenever you damage a survivor who is not the obsession with a basic attack, you earned 1 token up to 6, 7, 8. When you have a token, your basic cooldown are reduced by 5%, was 4%, and that's for each token. Whenever the obsession takes damage, you lose tokens. While the obsession is dead, you cannot earn tokens. Nowhere to hide. Whenever you damage a generator for 3, 4, 5 seconds, you see the aura of survivors within 18 meters of you, was 24. Dev note, we are planning to update this perk based on the reception of the above change after it was announced. Nowhere to hide will go back to 24 meters, but will reveal survivors near the generator instead of the killer's location.
With nowhere to hide, sorry. This will mostly impact M1 killers, I'm sorry.
Yeah, sorry guys.
You won't get much value out of this. Although S-tier killers, like high movement killers, will not get much value out of this either. So that's a plus.
Yeah. So it's kind of like lowering it for everyone, which is fine. All right. Any thoughts on these killer perk changes before we move on to Survivor?
It's crazy to see Save the Best for Last buffed.
I fuck with it.
I like it.
Is that Keep Them Waiting? Is that what that's called now?
That's Save the Best.
Okay, because I saw this and I was like, what the fuck is Keep Them Waiting?
Read the effects. You get up to 8 stacks and it lowers your basic attack cooldown.
Yeah. But I was like...
You were reading it like you didn't know what you were reading, and I know that's because nobody knows what Keep Them Waiting is.
I'm going to be honest. I was like, what the fuck is this perk? Who added this?
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck is Keep Them Waiting? I'm like, whose perk is
that the Jason perk that I forgot about? No, it's not Rampage.
That's what I thought. I was
this is Michael Myers.
Yeah, Michael Myers. It's the spider perk, right?
Yes.
No.
Wait, no, that's
got the spider on it.
Save the Breath
the one with the it used to be Laurie Strode screaming in it, but now I guess it's a nondescript screaming face. I actually don't know what it looks like now.
Okay. Sorry.
Survivor perk updates. Sprint burst. Whenever you start running, you gain 50% haste for 2 seconds. Was 3 seconds. You gain exhausted for 60, 50, and 40 seconds.
It was nerf. It's okay. This is an okay nerf.
Yeah. This is good. This is good. This is what it should be. 3 seconds was kind of crazy. Apocalyptic Ingenuity. After you rummage or unlock 1 chest while next to a broken pallet, use Input Activatable Button 1 for 3 seconds to create a fragile pallet with 2 chests in 4 seconds. Within 24, 28, and 32 meters, you see the auras of broken pallets.
Hey, it's meta now. Let's go.
Yes!
I'm kidding. Apocalyptic Ingenuity is still bad.
It's a fucking fragile pallet. Of course it's going to be bad.
Oh, it's bad, y'all. Sorry.
It's interesting. But yeah, no, you get rewarded twice as fast.
Right. Deliverance once per trial. When you safely unhook another survivor, you can unhook yourself. When you unhook yourself this way, you gain broken for 160, 140, or 120 seconds. Was 180 and 60 seconds. So that duration got doubled. Fuck you. Sorry, that was mean. Yeah. Pro players, you're gonna be a little scared. Maybe not. I don't know. I don't play pro. So yeah, pro comp. Fuck.
I mean, with elusive now. you know, you can get away from that hook faster. So maybe it's not quite as bad. But you got to ride out for 120 seconds, I guess, or run dead hard.
Not great. Vigil! All survivors within you, 60 meters of you, recover from a various amount of status effects, including but not limited to blindness, broken, exhausted, exposed, hemorrhage, hindered, mangled, and oblivious, 30, 35, and 40% faster. And it used to be 40, 55, and 66% faster, so minus 22%.
I didn't realize Vigil did all this. This is such this is such an early perk, you could tell.
Yeah.
Like, it's a laundry list of shit. Like, it's just... I did not know it was all this stuff. That's insane.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah,
and this one gets powers too, not just perks, powers as well.
Yeah, maybe rework it.
Yeah, I think they are. I think they're thinking too. After you leave the range, this ends after 15 seconds. So it lingers on you 50 seconds after you leave your little buddy. Adrenaline. When all generators are completed, if you are downed or injured, heal instantly 1 health state. Then, ignoring exhausted, you gain 50% haste for 4 seconds, was 3. You gain exhausted for 60, 50, 40 seconds. Yeah, adrenaline buff. Fuck you. Or unfuck you. That's crazy. Moving on. Clean break. Whenever you finish healing another survivor while being killed by another survivor, use input activator 1-1 to gain broken. After 75, 60, 45 seconds, if you are not downed, you are instantly healed. This used to be 80, 70, 60 seconds.
Good change.
Clean break. Fuck
I like clean break.
I love
this is good
break.
Now.
Clean break is actually usable.
It's actually, yeah, I would use this more now.
More than usable, I'd say.
It's pretty good.
I would say
Fun,
this is
maybe.
Yeah,
maybe
I would use this.
Moment of glory. After you rummage or unlock 1 chest while not broken. When you become injured, you gain broken. Was 2 chests. If you do not take damage after 80, 70, 60 seconds, you are instantly healed 1 health state. Pretty decent. You can potentially heal in chase. Kind of crazy.
Yeah, run it with apocalyptic ingenuity, and you're going to be out those doors in no time.
Right. Me when I lie.
Buy the pay-to-win 2 DLCs ASAP and play Castlevania and Rick Grimes for this pay-to-win combo.
There's a fucking mosquito, trying to attack me. It's a fucking Judgment. Send out her little drone.
Oh my god.
She heard what you said about her look. She's like, excuse me?
Repressed Alliance. After repairing generators for 55, 50, 45 seconds while repairing a generator alone, use input activatable button 1 to block that generator for 15 seconds. Was 30. This seems like a nerf. It's actually a buff. That's all I'm going to say. I've
been using this perk, and I like it.
Yeah.
I've been using it with wiretap. Oh my god, guys. It's so fun.
That's deep.
Yeah, so what you would do is, for anyone who isn't familiar, you put on wiretap, you repress it as the killer's coming to you, and loop around the gen, and you get aura reading. It's great. I like it a lot. And you're giving your teammates value because they know where you are.
They see it too. They see that information across the map. It's amazing, dare I say.
How devious.
Speaking of devious, we gotta talk about this perk that used to be awful, but it's not so bad anymore. That being Technician. While repairing a generator, the range of generator repair noises is 16 meters shorter. It was 8. Additionally, whenever you miss a basic skill check, the generator does not explode, but loses 432% more progress. Was 543. Did I say this wasn't so awful? It's still pretty bad, but it's not awful anymore. It's just bad.
I know a lot of new people listen to this, so I want to say, if you're running Technician, take it off. If you miss a skill check, I would say 8 out of 10 times, the killer is likely not going to come to you unless they're not in chase, right? Like, it is so rare for me to hear someone, you get that missed skill check as a killer from a distance. It's so rare for me to go check it out unless I'm not in chase and I'm looking for somebody. Just don't run Technician. It is not worth that extra progress loss. It's not.
Yeah, and that's Survivor perk updates. Any thoughts on this before we move on to UX and UI changes?
Not bad changes, I think. I think overall pretty good. We're going to get more reworked perks. I think they said like over 40 in the next chapter, in the next mid-chapter update.
In September.
In September, which along with 2v8, which will have the new iteration of 2v8. So that's cool. And they said a lot of those perks are reworked perks for to shake up the meta and stuff, and some of those are going to be impacted from the
diminishing returns.
Diminishing returns. Yes, I always forget the name of that.
So do I.
But good changes in this one.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that. I can't wait. And yeah, very good changes overall, except for some of them. Some of them are just kind of there, like Technician.
Yeah, some of these perks are never going to be amazing. Technician, Apocalyptic Ingenuity, etc.
Yeah. No,
but like I'd rather that they, make Technician not as harmful to the teammate of the person running Technician.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It doesn't change how Technician works for the person running it. It's even better for the person running it. But it's extra better for me because that 1%, the 3%, 2%.
I also realize don't run Technician, run Corrective Action.
Yeah.
Have someone else run Corrective Action if you're new.
No, run level 1 Technician before they change it so that you can get the 5% off every gen.
There you go.
Yeah. Alrighty, moving on. It's time for UX and UI. So we have quite a few things that have been added or changed, but let's talk about the first main one, that being the new gameplay showcase section. When you're looking at a specific survivor or killer, you can enter, blah, blah, blah. I misread that so bad. This can be entered by looking at the survivor or killer lobbies. By clicking the killer power icon, you can actually enter this as well, in which you have a large list of killers, which by clicking on each of them, you can go into sections detailing their descriptions with videos of how their powers work and their key aspects of their power. This is accompanied, again, by a video, but it also includes the list of killers for players to be able to preview their power, and this is only accessible outside the matches. I'm just going to say it, profit. Because I said months back that they should include videos of killer tutorials of how powers work, giving detailed analysis and explanations of how they work. And guess what they fucking did? They did what I said. They did. Profit. Sorry.
There's too many.
Yeah. Does your uncle work at Behavior?
My uncle works at Behavior. Yes.
You just put a telescope out your window and you can see the computers through their window because Canada is that small. So you can just
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You live right there.
Yeah, I have to travel on Moose actually to reach them with my maple syrup as my only source of nourishment because it's so cold outside and I have to live in the snowbanks.
And you live on maple syrup.
How many kilometers per liter does that moose get you?
At least 2.
Of maple syrup.
Maple syrup. That's
at least 2.
You all don't have gasoline.
No.
You guys, all your cars run on maple syrup.
Our cars are actually powered by maple syrup.
Yeah.
You've heard it all. We can't hit you with anything.
For all the Canadians listening out there, we're kidding, and we love you.
Really? I couldn't tell.
Maddie's heard this for like 20 years. Don't worry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
it's so funny because you're wearing a Canadian shirt too.
I didn't even realize. Yeah, if you didn't know, I'm Canadian actually.
Yeah,
we
have some Canadian representation both in the Discord and on the pod. So
yeah. Well, I do want to say, jokes aside, I'm really glad they added this because not only does it give a proper explanation of how powers work, it also gives a video to actually show it, so you can actually see what's going on. I will say it is really funny when you click on Trapper because he has one button on the left side and it says you can place a trap and then do these things. And then you go to the Judgment. She has 4 tabs and each tab is like a whole page long and you're like...
Yeah, Xeno has 4 too. Some of the killers will have a lot.
It's crazy. Yeah. It really just puts into perspective that Trapper is just a fucking guy who places traps and then you have fucking God right there.
I'm into it.
Trapper, he needs a rework.
Yeah.
There's rumors that he's getting one this year. I pray. I pray.
He's gonna get like an enraged mode.
Enraged mode. Yeah, where he reads Reddit posts and he runs around the map. Oni 2.0.
Survive with friends.
Additionally, power tooltips are being updated. The old ones used to describe killer powers are being entirely rewritten. Content has been removed, replaced by the same action-based descriptions used on the F1 section of match details. So I believe that specifically when you're loading into a match, and it would say at the bottom, when you're going against or when you're playing as them, do this. It's replacing that with the F1 killer power descriptions, which I'm so happy for, because those do such a better job at explaining what you do, instead of, as Trapper, make sure to place your traps, and you have to pick them up to reset them. No, you're a liar. You're lying.
Or throwing a pallet is a good distraction.
Or throwing a pallet is a good distraction.
That's such a bad
keep doing that one. Keep doing that one. I'm so distracted. Please keep doing that one.
Don't let the killer bait.
Please keep doing that one.
The next thing that they did is that they're updating the matchmaking button. This is mainly just visual, so instead of having just the small black box that says play or ready, and now it is a lot bigger. It's like this big orange-red multicolored rectangle with the tallies and the strikes, and it says play. Additionally, surfaces estimated waiting time and current time on queue. So this is going to include your time, how long you've been in queue, and also how long it thinks it will take to put you in a match. This didn't work exactly on PTB. It didn't give me the EST for killer, but it did give me the actual countdown for how long I've been in queue. So amazing, because that wasn't in the game before. So really happy about that. Additionally, bonuses and other complementary information is displayed through the new tooltip. So that's specifically like the 1.5 blood point modifier, if that's available 2 times, etc. Blah, we're almost done. Hook timer division. The hook timer has now been split into 2 bars to better clarify that's the second hook state and def triggers. So before you go into your second hook state, that is now 2 different bars. So it's a lot easier to tell when someone's about to go to second phase. Additionally, update for scenarios when a survivor is on hook in a cage of corruption, which is the 2v8 cage, or cage of torment, which is the executioner, and exile, which is the new killer. Very happy about this change. Makes it a lot easier for me to understand.
One of the best quality of life changes they made. Like, this is just, you know when they're going to go to second. There's no guessing on where that big ass, tiny little, full bar is. Yeah, like this is a really, really good change, and I'm glad. The next thing they got to do, remove the goddamn bubbles on generators and doors, please. That is a bipartisan issue for both killers and survivors. Get rid of them.
I hate the bubble so much. I would honestly prefer if it was kind of like Darkest Dungeon, where it has like the red outline and like the little tally marks next to it, if that makes sense.
Ooh,
I would prefer that instead.
I like that.
Because you can see through, but it's still big enough to be like, someone is hooked. Go save them.
Just copy and paste that over. They own both.
You own Darkest Dungeon, so like...
But I see what you mean. Like, give us more like reticles. Give us more outlines.
More reticles. All right.
I don't know. I think that they wouldn't want to do that.
The last thing we have to talk about for the PTB, the very last thing, we already mentioned this, so this is kind of cheating, but the Judgment is the first killer ever to get a killer-specific option in the settings, which is controlling the sensitivity of divine light. This can be found in the general settings tab under beta, then the Judgment control settings. So very awesome, very slay. I hope we see more of this. Specifically, I want this for Hillbilly, because I suck with Hillbilly. I suck with him so much. And I would love to see a way to control my sensitivity that isn't using my fucking mouse button like this here to change my DPI. So hopefully that happens.
Yeah, definitely need more accessibility options and more settings.
I figure as well, like if you throw one of these for Houndmaster, because when you send her dog out, it just copies your sensitivity. And sometimes you really do have to hit these crazy like 180 or 140 degree flicks. You have the muscle memory down, but it's just a lot of movement.
Bangarang! Like, it's so... Yeah, it gives me kind of motion sickness, like, a little bit when I'm going, like, between 2 point of Vs and I have to, like, to fucking, like, move my mouse across the screen just to hit one guy who's already here for the
Give Cenobite one, too, so that he can, like, hit backwards chains and loop-de-loop.
Exactly.
Yeah,
give one to Oni. Oni and Blight too, so that they can J-flick for real this time.
Deathslayer would be nice too, so when he's not aiming and when he is aiming, those two are very distinct. So.
That would be really nice. Alrighty, that is the PTB. Any final thoughts on the core system PTB before we go on to our killer tier list?
I think overall it's a solid change. I think the quality of life stuff here is good. Great onboarding stuff here, which is awesome. We complained about that all last year, but that seems to be getting ironed out. Hopefully the tutorial is next. Maybe that gets overhauled. If they have all this stuff, I'm sure that might be in the pipeline. That's awesome. Again, I'm just super stoked to play this on live because I think that's really going to show how that chapter does. Yes. And I think these changes overall, balancing wise, are good changes.
Yes, I'm super, super excited to see this go live. I'm so excited to see
Is it controversial to say that this feels like the real 10th anniversary chapter? It didn't feel like we were in year 10 until this. This feels like the 10-year killer.
Well, the fact that we haven't got any balancing in so long, like it's been 6 months balancing. Yeah.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Like it's insane. Like we haven't had, like we've had the same meta for so long, and finally getting a meta shake up. And they said this is going to be rare. Yeah, we're going to get another one. So like this feels like DBD is kind of,
it does feel
getting
bigger,
back into
which is weird, because if you take away the Black Banquet, what did Jason really bring besides himself?
Yeah.
It's really kind of fucking crazy.
It really needed a map.
Dare I say, this is proof that... Okay, never mind. I was going to give that joke. Never mind. Anyways.
No. Say it. I want to hear it.
No. We're moving on. If you have nothing nice to say, then don't say it. That's what my
mom says. Hey, there you go.
Well, it's time for the official Red Stain Radio Killer Tier List. If you don't know, once a week at the end of each of our episodes, we go through chronological order of when a killer is released and place them on a tier list with 5, currently, we might change this, tiers. That being S, A, B, C, D. S being, oh my god, they're so powerful, please don't hurt me. Ding being, you are wet napkin. You are not doing much. Now, so far, we've gone through these killers in these tiers in this order. In S tier, we have Nurse. In A, we have Hillbilly Van Spirit. B, we have The Shape, aka Michael Myers. Huntress, Nightmare, aka Freddy Krueger. Wraith, and then Cannibal, aka Leatherface. In C, we have Pig, which is from Saw, Doctor, Clown, Legion, and Hag. That's the one I missed, which I would probably put him a little above Clown and Doctor, but I get why he's there. I'm not going to fight it. It's freaking Legion, yo. And then in D, all by himself, is the Trapper. And today, we go over Vami Mami, also known as the Plague, who came out with Jane Romero many years ago. I don't remember when she came out. So on a count of 3, we're going to say where we think this killer places. I already know where I'm going to say, but I'm going to let you guys think about it for a few seconds. Let me know when you're ready. Give me a thumbs up when you're ready.
I'm ready. I'm good to go.
I think I'm ready.
Okay. On the count of 3. So 1, 2, 3, we say it. All right. 1, 2, 3. A.
B.
C.
What the fuck is
Whoa.
Whoa. E?
Okay.
Whoa.
You're insane. You're insane.
I think she's fallen off.
This is the first time we've all been different.
This is where we get
oh no.
Yeah, this is the first time I think we all said something different.
So who said A? Maddie, you said A?
I said A.
Okay, Maddie, I think you gotta defend yourself because I almost said C. I did almost say C.
Well, that's insane. Okay, my explanation is that unlike other characters who have fallen off, the Plague's intrinsic kit has always been very strong. She completely counteracts the healing action, meaning you're basically exposed for the entire game. But on top of that, you're also making your location very apparent as you're leaving a trail of sound effects when your character is fucking gagging. And you're also infecting anything you touch when you're fully infected, which is really easier for her to do. Now, I will say she does have some caveats, which is why I'm not saying she's like us or something. That'd be insane, because you can stun her out of her second form, which leads me to the point that there's 2 ways to play against her that no one has really found out is optimal. You either all stay injured and never grant her Black Purge Puke, which is her projectile that can be looped around loops and can down people almost immediately, or you cleanse all the time, but she has almost infinite access to this very strong projectile, where if you look at other projectile killers, they basically have to go reload, or they have to wait for a long time. Plague can just keep yakking it until she kills you. Additionally, she can infect basically anything, and then you're put on a timer until you're fully infected. This, with everything in circulation, not even counting her very powerful add-ons, which give her Black Puke every time a generator is completed, or her absolutely insane iridescent add-on that makes it whenever a character pukes, they get their aura revealed for 3 seconds. She has so many tools, so many different ways to play, and most importantly, has near infinite potential that I feel like she deserves to be an A, specifically because her puke is really easy to control, really easy to hit, and really easy to loop with. She's not 110, she's 115. And with that all in consideration, she's very powerful, especially since not a lot of people know how to play against her or the optimal way to play against her. My thoughts.
I mean, you make great points. Absolutely. She's got solid map pressure. You know, she can injure you without even touching you, which is cool. She's got a somewhat decent projectile. However, I would say that projectile is A, extremely inconsistent, B, she has to earn it, and C, kind of buggy, like not very great. Like it there are many times, like I think she is currently very buggy. Like if she hits you, it may not register. Both types of the infection type and the injured type. Like she's kind of like slept on in terms of behavior's attention because one, I don't see her a lot. However, I think she's an absolute noob stomper. Like if you're new to this and you're like, what the fuck do I do? Like she is just going to wreck you. However, if you're in a Swift and you can coordinate and you're with somewhat decent folks, I think you can easily, because at one point, if you're just injured, she's just an M1 killer and you don't cleanse, she is just an M1 killer. And that's D tier there alone. Just like she can injure you without touching you, but she has to down you. And I think that's the crux of her kit. Like if she doesn't know how to mind game you, if she can't apply pressure in any other way outside of the vomit, she is just an M1 killer that is maybe even worse than Trapper. So that's my thoughts. And with that said, me talking it out, I would even maybe lean C. Like I said, I almost said C, but I'm low B. Like she's below Cannibal.
Stevie, your thoughts?
I would really like to say that like A tier Plague gameplay exists out there often enough to consider her an A tier killer. But I think that like the issue is you have too many survivors who know the two counterplays, and at some point that just becomes the only two ways to play, and every Plague has to contend with they're only cleansing on the outside of the map. I have no fountains that are near any gens. Everyone keeps spreading out when they cleanse. I have to walk to one corner of the map to get my power, walk halfway across the map to encounter the rest of the gens, and that kind of is a counter to itself because you don't have access to the damaging power, which you need to down people. Don't need to, but like you just need crazy movement to be able to M1 down people, which like you can turn any like a Trapper who has crazy movement is scary.
Yeah.
But like a Trapper with crazy movement isn't an add-on you can slap onto the character. But with Plague though, you are right. Her add-ons go crazy. Her add-ons themselves can bump like a competent player up, much in the same way a doctor could. But I think when I'm thinking how we're doing this, I'm like squishing every single instance of everyone playing the killer all together into like one pancake of a grade. And I think that everyone who picks up Plague walks towards their fountain, picks up the puke, gets like a down, and then nobody cleanses on them, or they're just unable to get their power snowballing, and Plague just kind of gets the game run apart on her if she cannot hold it with a grip and force survivors to cleanse and know exactly when to pick up her puke herself. There's too much to juggle, but the payoff, I'm a little more lenient now. I'm like, I think she could be a B tier just off rep. C tier is a little too harsh.
Yeah, okay.
I'll say that.
I feel like our general consensus is that maybe she should go in B. I feel like that's safe. Question is though, where does she place? Do we think she's better than Huntress, Nightmare? Do we think she's worse than the Rave? I would personally put her, like me personally, I would probably put her probably above Huntress, but below Michael. That's where I would put her.
I would
somewhere
say
in that cluster, right? That Huntress Nightmare.
Yeah,
cluster.
In that cluster.
I would put her between Nightmare and Wraith. That's where I would put her.
Wraith.
Because Wraith and Cannibal don't really have any map pressure, whereas, you know, I almost said Hag. Plague has
to fight for it, but she can get it.
Has map pressure, but she has to go around almost like Trapper and set that map pressure. She has to go to each of those gens and set her vomit on those. So in a way, she is almost kind of a trap killer in some ways. So, but she has to set up for it, and then, but even that, like, she applies pressure through that. But
I would comfortably put her above Rave. I feel like above Rave, below Freddy. I think that's good.
Yeah, that's good with me.
If we're gonna squeeze all these killers into B tier, it might as well be well sorted.
Yeah,
they're all
that's
going.
Why I'm thinking we should add a B+ and B-. I feel like
that's too much. I mean, maybe, but
I don't want it all to be like.
We're gonna hit A tiers soon. Trust me, we're gonna hit a string of A tiers.
I'm waiting.
Yeah, you have to realize these are all early killers.
Like Soul Merchant and Chucky, Pursue, all our A tiers.
Although I would maybe put Pursue in A, bottom A, but A, maybe high B.
Okay, I need to search this up really quick. I need to figure out who our next person is because I don't remember who was after Plague.
It's Ghosty, right?
Hold on. I'm searching.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah,
Mr.
and the reason I didn't want to do
Mr.
plus and
Face
minus
himself.
to these tiers when we got this idea is because one, there's three of us, right? And like this episode, we discussed we had to settle on B because we all have three different options. First time for that, which is cool. Sometimes we'll have guests who will have different, like we had our moderators on, and Steven said Cloud was A, which. We never let him live down.
Absolutely, God bless his soul.
Oh no! But I think it would be too much to discuss because first we have to decide where they're going, and then we have to decide where in that tier they're going. So I think B, plus and minuses are just too much to the equation.
Yeah,
but maybe in the future when
we need to add an
F. Well, Judgement can go there because they're not out yet.
Yeah. Oh.
Wait, let's do the math. When are we gonna grade the Judgment? If we're at like 40-something killers, we still need like
how many more episodes?
30 weeks.
Oh God, we're gonna be at like 90-something, and that's when I think we're gonna be.
I think it's by the end of the year.
End of the year. I think it's gonna be next year, like maybe February.
Yeah, we won't break 100 episodes by the end of the year.
You're right. I'm tripping.
Alrighty, and that is all we have for you this week, folks. Thank you all so much for tuning in and supporting the show. Remember, if you want to support us even more, you can leave a review at the bottom of your little screen, or you can write us a review depending on their platform. And if you want to hear more from us, you can follow us on Twitch at Red Steam Radio, twitch.tv, or you can follow us on our socials, which I believe we're on Instagram, on TikTok, and we also have a Discord, which you can see in the description below. Or you can see us on YouTube, where you can see our beautiful faces. Though most of the time, I don't really know what I'm doing with my face. Thank you, Stevie. Thank you, Bryson. And thank you, listeners and viewers. We'll see you in the vlog next week. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Goodbye.